Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you have ever looked at those beautiful candles on Instagram or Pinterest and thought, I wonder if I could actually make and sell these myself, then this video is for you. Because today I'm going to walk you through how you can start a candle business from home in 2026, even if you're a complete beginner. We'll talk about supplies you need, how to actually make a candle, how to start selling online, and most importantly, how to build a business that doesn't rely on getting new customers every single day. And I know a lot of candle videos focus only on making the product, but honestly, making the candle is only one part of business. The real challenge is getting customers and keeping them coming back. So we'll talk about that too. I have also prepared a simple candle business checklist for you, so make sure to stay until the end. Alright, let's get started. The supplies you actually need. Now, whenever people search how to start a candle business, they usually get overwhelmed immediately because one person says you need 10 things, another person says you need 20 things, and suddenly it feels like you need an entire factory just to make one candle. But honestly, you don't. You only need a few basics to get started. First of all, you are obviously going to need wax. That's the heart of your candle. Then you'll need fragrance oil because nobody wants a beautiful candle that smells like absolutely nothing. You'll also need wicks, jars and molds, a thermometer, a weighing scale, and something to melt your wax in. And if you're planning to sell your candles, you'll also want to think about packaging and branding from the beginning. Now, I know some beginners try to skip things like thermometer or weighing scale because they think they're unnecessary, but trust me, those two tools save you so much frustration. If your measurements are inconsistent, your candles will be inconsistent too. One candle might smell amazing, the next one might barely have any scent. One might burn perfectly, but the next one might tunnel. So if you're serious about turning this into a business, accuracy matters. And honestly, customers notice quality. Before we make the candle, let's talk about something important. Now, before I start making candles, I want to ask you one quick question. Imagine you have two businesses. The first business gets a customer, the customer buys once, and then they're gone forever. The second business gets a customer, the customer buys, they enjoy the experience, they hear from the brand again, they discover new products, and eventually they become a repeat customer. So which business would you rather have? I think we all know the answer, but surprisingly, most small businesses spend all their time thinking about getting customers and almost no time thinking about keeping them. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I see. Because getting a customer is hard. Getting the same customer to buy again is usually much easier. This is exactly why I wanted to mention today's sponsors, Omnisend. One thing I have learned from working in e-commerce and marketing is that staying connected with customers is incredibly important. Sometimes people genuinely love your products, but lives get busy. They forget, they move on, not because they don't like your brand, but because there are thousands of things competing for their attention every day. That's where Omnisend comes in. Omnisend helps businesses stay connected with customers through email and SMS marketing. So let's say someone buys one of your candles, a few weeks later you launch a new scent collection, or maybe you're running a seasonal promotion. Instead of hoping people remember your business, you can send updates directly to customers who have already shown interest in your products. You can create welcome emails, promotional campaigns, product updates, abandoned cart reminders, and much more. And what I personally like is that it's beginner friendly. A lot of marketing tools can feel overwhelming when you're just starting out, but Omnisend is designed for growing e-commerce businesses. More than 150,000 brands use Omnisend to connect with their customers, and businesses see an average return of $7 for every $1 spent. So ROI is just amazing. Right now, they're also offering 30% off for the first 3 months. So if you're building an online business, definitely check out the link in my description. Now let's move on to the fun part and actually make our candles. Alright, so today I'm making a simple jar candle. And honestly, this is one of my favorite types because it's beginner friendly and looks beautiful once it's finished. The first thing I'm doing is measuring my wax. Now this part isn't very exciting, but it's very important. Whenever you're making products to sell, consistency matters. You want your customers to have the same experience every time they order. So I am measuring everything properly before I start. Next, I'm melting the wax, and while this is happening, this is usually the stage where I start thinking about fragrance combinations. This is honestly one of the most enjoyable parts for me because fragrance can completely change the personality of a candle. A vanilla candle feels very different from a lavender candle, and both feel completely different from something fresh and citrusy. Once the wax reaches the correct temperature, I'm adding my fragrance oil and stirring slowly. After that, I am preparing my jar and securing the wick. And one thing I learned while researching candle making is that keeping your wick scented is more important than most beginners realize. A small detail like this can affect how evenly your candle burns. Now I'm carefully pouring the wax into the jar, and this is probably the most satisfying part of the whole process. There's just something relaxing about watching everything come together. Then we let the candle cool and set completely. And once it's ready, we trim the wick. And just like that, our candle is finished. Now, of course, if you're planning to sell candles, don't expect your first batch to be perfect. Every business owner spends time testing fragrances, testing containers, testing waxes, testing packaging. That's completely normal. How to actually sell your candles. Now let's talk about the part most people care about. How do you actually get customers? And honestly, if you're a beginner, I don't think you need a fancy website on day one. I really don't. I think social media is one of the best places to start because it's free, and if you use it correctly, it can be incredibly powerful. The first platform I would focus on are Instagram and TikTok. If you're comfortable managing more platforms, you can add Pinterest later. But don't try to be everywhere at once. It's better to do 2 platforms well than 5 platforms badly. The first thing you want to do is set up your profile properly. Add your logo or brand image, write a simple bio explaining what you sell, and make it very clear how people can order. You would be surprised how many businesses forget this part. People discover a product, they're interested, they want to buy, and then they can't figure out how. So always make your call to action clear. Now, if there's one thing I want you to remember from this entire video, it's this. Please create content. Seriously, create content. As someone who's worked in e-commerce and marketing for several years, I can't stress this enough. So many small businesses only post product photos, and then they wonder why nobody engages. But people don't just buy products. They buy stories, they buy emotions, they buy experiences, they buy from brands they connect with. So show your process, show your workspace, show your mistakes, show your packaging orders, show new fragrance testing, and show some behind scenes moments. Let people see the person behind the business because that's what builds trust. And trust is what creates customers. Captions, hashtags, and consistency. Now, once you start posting content, don't overcomplicate things. Write simple captions, talk about your product, talk about the story behind it, talk about why you created it, use a few relevant hashtags. You don't need 30 hashtags, by the way, and you don't need complicated strategies. Focus on creating useful content consistently, because consistency teaches platform who your audience is, and over time it helps the right people discover your business. Final thoughts. I think one of the reason people never start business is because they think they need everything figured out before they begin. The perfect product, the perfect logo, the perfect packaging, perfect website, the perfect strategy. But honestly, most successful business started with imperfect first versions. You learn by doing, you improve by doing, and your confidence grows by doing. So if you have been waiting for perfect moment to start your candle business, maybe this is your sign to stop waiting and just begin. Start small, learn as you go, and keep improving. And if you would like a complete tutorial on selling candles through Etsy, Shopify, or Amazon Handmade, let me know in the comments, because I would love to make that for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.